Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us in this live question and answer for the research course. My name is Julie Lynn Noel. I am the Director of Education and Research for Eurospine, and I'm very happy to have everyone here if you are curious enough about the research course which will be happening in the EduWeek. So before that, I'd like to share what is the EduWeek and So what is the EduWeek actually? The EduWeek is the Eurospine EduWeek is the leading educational event for spine professionals that will offer expert-led courses tailored to different career stages. So we offer this for aspiring spine surgeons and residents to build a strong foundation in spine surgery and other topics in spine care with essential knowledge and techniques. For surgeons advancing their skills, they expand expertise in key areas such as degenerative diseases, deformities, traumas, and tumor. For experienced surgeons handling complex cases, we want to enhance their surgical decision-making and refine advanced operative techniques. So you choose EduWeek because you want to be staying updated with advances, you want to learn from renowned faculty, you want to have hands-on training, and you want to have networking opportunities. That's why today we're going to discuss about joining the research course in the 25th to the 26th of June in Strasbourg. This is the middle of that week, and this is supposed to prepare a high standard research protocol guided by leading spine experts, and this is perfect for new researchers and clinicians alike. So why you should choose this course? It's because it's dedicated to spine research. It will help you prepare for Eurospine grants, which is offered every year at Eurospine if you are a member, and you will have a comprehensive learning experience. And finally, before I give the floor to Carmen, you have to register as soon as possible. We have a limited time offer to secure your spot at the EduWeek courses. If you register now, you can take advantage of exclusive bundle discounts until the 31st of March. So the EduWeek, actually, there are a lot of courses that you can choose from. But today we will talk about only the research course. And here you can see if you take 2 modules, you can save 5% and 10% when booking 3 or more modules. So this you could do with this exclusive Eurospine member discount. So I give the floor now to Carmen. Well, welcome again, everybody.
Well, thank you, Julie. And welcome to all of you. And we organized this webinar to give you an introduction or an idea what you can expect when you follow the research module. To explain it more clearly to you, I made a small presentation that I'd like to share with you now. Yeah.
While Carmen is looking at that, actually, please feel free to use the chat function. I will be monitoring the chat, and also feel free to use the Q&A function in case you have questions about the research course.
Okay, well, what do we do in this research course? What is the purpose? Well, the main purpose is that we want to take you by the hand and to teach you how to write a research protocol. Most of the participants to this research course are already interested in research and already working in research, but still in a primary state. Maybe you've already written an article, or maybe you're already involved in a research work. But to get more understanding of what research really is, then this course may be very good for you. And what is important, that if you have a research question, that you should also be realistic in the expectations of what you can expect once you post your research question. And finally, recognizing pitfalls in research is also important. And not only in the research that you do yourself, but also to recognize the pitfalls in research performed by others in order to get more advanced in doing research. And to illustrate that, I can only give the example of what happened to me when I started doing research. When I started in it, I was giving a research question by my supervisors. And well, they told me, well, just find out this and that. They just gave me the problem. And then they wanted me to find an answer to that. And then when I digged into literature to get more knowledge on the topic, I got really puzzled and sometimes even depressed because I thought the answer to the question that I have is already given in literature. But along the way, I learned that the research done by others may have flaws, and that from that you can learn how to do it better, and where are the pitfalls, and where are the gaps in knowledge. And even if this research that was done before on this particular topic that you are interested in, or where your supervisors are interested in, then it may be very useful to repeat this in order to validate the answers. Okay, to make it somewhat more down to earth, what do we do actually? Well, actually, the setup is that we have some videos made, and before starting the course with the other participants together, you watch those videos, and those videos, I think it's 8 or 10, that teach you on particular topics. After each video, there are a few questions that you have to answer, and that makes for us it clear that you understood what you've been watching. Well, and then we start with an one online session. So then we get to know the group, and then we also form small groups. And in this small group, you will work throughout that period. In order to illustrate that, it's very nice that we have Calogero with us. He joined us in the research course that we gave last year. And well, Calogero, maybe you can say something about how you experienced it, that you were, well, that you formed a group with some of the other participants.
Yeah, thank you, Carmen, for the invitation, first of all. I'm very glad to be here today to enjoy this webinar. Yeah, I have a presentation I would like to share if I can.
Well, maybe Calogero, maybe if you allow me, then I just discuss a few other things.
Okay.
Yes, but maybe you can answer the question is how you felt about it, that you were well put in a group with some of the other participants. How did that work out?
Yeah, I think this was very, very a good experience because with the small interaction, I had the opportunity to make connection with the colleagues from other parts of Europe, and also the work was easier for us because it was very interactive, and this is the most important aspect I liked of the research course. It was the small interaction within the small groups, and so we found the way to make the protocol easier to write it.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah, that was the idea that we had in advance, that it would be nice to interact not only with the whole group, but also in smaller groups. And what we intend really is to make you realize what is important in, well, really making your research question as clear as possible, so that you of course, when you have a research question, you should be specific, but not too specific. Otherwise, your answer will not be generalized enough. But it is very important to realize what do you really need in order to answer that research question. And well, some of the participants are a little bit more experienced in research, and others are still at the beginning. But for all of it, it's very important to do this yourself, to write a protocol yourself. And well, some protocols are more professional than others, but by doing it yourself, it makes you realize where the pitfalls are. So when we had the introduction, so first the introduction with the videos you do yourself, then the first general online session where you meet the other participants and where you can form the groups already. And then within the group, you can define a research question. And it can be that with your small group with 3 or 4 persons, that you make a completely new research question. It can also be that one of you says, hey guys, I'm working on this and this research question, and I would like your participation on that, and maybe we can discuss it together. How was that with you, Calogero? Did you have a complete new question or something that you were already considering?
Yeah, it was a study that we were considering in our department, and so I had just the idea, and thanks to the research course, I made this idea real because I'm, as you know, I'm trying to do this study, and but I remember that when I wrote you the first research question, it was almost totally different from the final one because we defined together the perfect research question that was not too specific, as you said, and was very easy and feasible also to understand for other.
Perfect. And you worked together with 2 others, and they
Yeah.
were not from your department, so they did not have your research question. How did they feel about that it was your question and not theirs? Was that a problem?
No, it was not because they really enjoyed the study and they liked the idea. And they were both ortho spine surgeons, and they liked the idea and they enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So it
So,
was really,
and about you, are you already an ortho surgeon?
yeah, I'm an ortho spine surgeon, yes.
Yeah.
When
Well, and
I last year I was resident, now I'm
yes,
dentist.
yes. But I think it is very important also for the other participants to realize so that senior residents or even consultants or ortho consultants, neurosurgery consultants
Yeah.
dedicated to spine, they were in the course, but also students, medical students who were just getting introduced into research, some that just started their PhD. So it was very diverse. But well, I guess you agree with me that that during the course that was not a problem what you
Yeah,
did in.
definitely. 100% agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah. So the things that we will go into during this course is that we not only focus on a research question that you have yourself, but also what are the research questions that are in the field. We can talk about that together. That you, before you finalize your research question, you should realize what is already known and where are the gaps. So what should we explore any further? So things that we focus on is not only to improve your research question, but we should be really critical about the research question. Like in the end, when you have your question, what's against it? So you really optimize your research question because that is what is very important. And by doing so, you should always realize what do I expect the outcome to be? So what will be the benefit of this research proposal that I'm writing? And well, I have an example of a question that can be refined. Usually when you start doing research or when you have a topic that you're interested in, you think like, I want to compare this treatment to that treatment. Okay, that's a great start, but you should go more into it. Like you want to specify the group that you want this answer to be realistic for. And when you see the improved focus, that you should also even can define it even further. So not by make the research question too wide, but also not too small, but be very specific about what you want to evaluate. So again, about the setup, the videos, one online session, and then we come together for the 1.5 day on site. So the whole of the Wednesday and the Thursday morning. Then we do a small recap of the lectures, but mainly we interact by doing it yourself. Then during these days, we have the breakout session sessions where you work in your group and where the faculty members also assist you within the small groups. And on the Wednesday, we focus on the research question, outcome parameters, some statistics. It's not a statistics course. Statistics will help you to get your research question even better. That's why we also pay some attention to statistics. We also pay attention to sample size, to confounders. And then on a Thursday morning, we start with something on adverse events and patient information, which is also very important in writing a research protocol. And thereafter, the groups will present their research questions to each other. And then finally, we have a comeback session that's also online. It's 1 or 2 weeks later. And then we present to each other our final protocols. So that's again an online session. Well, that is what we are aiming for in this research course, so that we focus on all the things that are important in writing a protocol in order to get you understand better what you need for a proper research question. It's not about solutions, but sometimes it is about solutions, and that will Calogero will tell us now about, because he wrote really a research protocol based on what he learned in the course. So I conclude with that it's very nice that it is integrated, this research course, in EduWeek, because you are also with your fellow students, and it's nice to interact with each other. And if you're also interested in the other spine modules, it's easy to combine. Okay, this was my presentation, and I hope I made you somewhat more enthusiastic, but Calogero will continue now.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Can you see my...
Absolutely.
Thank you. So thank you, Carmen, again for the presentation and for the invitation to enjoy this webinar, to present my insights and thoughts about the past research course of Eurospine. I'm Calogero Bruda, and I'm working at Gemelli Hospital in Rome, and I'm an orthospine surgeon. So I had the opportunity to enjoy the research course in Strasbourg last year, and it was a valuable experience for me, not only from a scientific and educational point of view, but also from a personal point of view. First of all, because I love Strasbourg. I think it's a beautiful city. And then for the human point of view, because I had the opportunity to meet people, to create connection and enjoy new friendships. So last year, and I think this year, the course is basically organized in the same way. There was, as Carmen mentioned before, the first part was the online session with the e-learning, and then the in-person live session in Strasbourg in June. So the advantages of the learning modules from my personal point of view, I think it was very, very helpful because it was concise and well structured. The video were short, about 25, 26 minutes, and this helped to learn anytime, anywhere. And even though I work every day, I had the opportunity to watch the video before going to sleep, so it was easy to enjoy the e-learning session, and the faculty was highly experienced. And also during the e-learning session, we had the opportunity to interact, if we want, by email with Carmen or with the other organizers of the research course. The in-person session was, for my opinion, very intensive, and but it was very helpful because, as Carmen mentioned before, we were divided in small groups, so we had the opportunity to interact each others, to knowing each others, and to see how we work every day, and to make the protocol, to do the research question first of all. This was my finally research question. So I'm very interested in the treatment of infection in spinal surgery. So my question was if the Vanco powder could reduce the surgical site infection in open posterior spinal fusion surgery involving more than 2 levels. As I told you before, my first research question was almost totally different because it was just Vanco powder spinal surgery. we defined that this was interact each other with faculty and the other colleagues, that we had to focus on one type of surgery and one type of patient because of confounders, of course. First of all, we made some literature review in our small group, and as we know, surgical site infection is one of the most common complications in spine surgery. And we found, so the first day we made some literature review, and we studied about, studied about Vanco powder in spinal surgery, and we found some studies that say that there was a less risk of infection. We had the opportunity in this way to see also which were the demographic data important for the study, for example, age, tobacco, diabetes, obesity, and also another important aspect point that was the length of operative time, because as we know, long surgery, more risk of infection. As we know, this is important because a biological stability is fundamental for a mechanical stability. So the idea was that the Vanco could make a better outcome for our patients. We found also other study that they said that there were fewer systemic side effects for Vanco, and it decreased the chance of developing antibiotic resistance. And also another aspect that before the research course, for me was unexplored. There was the cost effectiveness analysis, because Vanco actually is a cheap antibiotic. And in fact, thanks to the faculty, I discovered the economic aspect, and this made me more interested in this study. But however, there were other studies that said that there weren't enough evidence to support the effectiveness of the use of Vanco in spinal surgery. This was the idea of our study. So we made in the afternoon on the first day the inclusion and exclusion criteria, and this was I remember that we spent almost 1.5 hours to set the best inclusion and exclusion criteria for the study, and this was really interesting because we started from reading other research, other studies, and we saw which were the bad aspects of each studies, and to make our protocol better. We defined also the demographic data, as I mentioned before. And then we decided the primary outcome, that of course was easy because it's the incidence of infection rate. But then we thought, how can we define infection rate if we do surgery in different hospitals, and how we can say this is infection, this is not infection? And we found in my small group a classification by the National Healthcare Safety Work Network that divide with specific criteria, which is superficial infection, which is deep, and organ space surgical site infection. And this helped to write the protocol and to be standard in the study. Then we define also the secondary outcome, that of course was pain and disability, and we decide the score like ODI and VASBEC, and also the economic value, as I mentioned before, with the health technology assessment of each hospital. Another interesting part for me was how to define follow-up, because I had the opportunity to learn from other surgeons how they see patient after surgery. So this was also a practical aspect because I learned from others that they see patient after 2 weeks, other after 1 month. And so we defined the follow-up of the protocol. And then the most challenging part for me was statistics, because I'm not really into statistics. But thanks to Carmen and to Miranda, I had the opportunity to approach to statistics and to define what was better for the protocol, including the categorical variables and the continuous variables. And then we made the power analysis and the sample size calculation. We saw that with an expected infection rate of 6-7%, with the reduction of 50%, we need a group of 283 patients. I remember that when we made the first simple size calculation was like 10,000 patients, so it was impossible to make this study. But then we defined we made a small group for specific surgery, and we figure out 208 patients. Then we made the consort diagram for the randomization. And I started in my hospital when I came back from Strasbourg, a retrospective analysis of our patients in my department. And I saw that the patient with Venco, there were 63, had a lower risk of infection. So I started with a retrospective study in my department. And from there, I tried to start this multi-center study, including 6 European centers. So I tried to turn this idea into reality, including the other colleagues, Carmen and Jan-Philippe from Strasbourg. And I decided to I make one step further and submit this project for the grant application, even though the grant wasn't awarded because they had several numbers of application. The feedback we received was positive and was encouraging. So I would like to go ahead with the study. But I can tell you that building connection and friendship, it was very important for me because I understood that research is not a journey to make alone. So it's very important to do it together and to work together. Thank you for the attention.
Thank you, Calogero. You made a fantastic overview of what your study was and how you learned it. When I think it's also important for the participants to benefit from the knowledge that is present in the in the faculty. Like me, I'm a neurosurgeon. Jan-Philippe is an orthopedic surgeon. Aria is a neurosurgeon, and Miranda, she's specifically she's a statistician and an epidemiologist. So that makes us a really nice team with the different aspects that are very important. And it was when I hear you talk, I hear the enthusiasm. And we as faculty were also very enthusiastic because it was so nice, not only in your group, but also in the other groups, to see all the aha moments, like, is it like that or is it like that? So I think the atmosphere overall was really good, and it also made us enthusiastic.
So if I could just say, Calogero, it was very inspiring to see your journey, and you've described that very, very well with your presentation. So thank you very much. But what I would be interested to learn from you is that if you could comment, how did you experience the collaboration part? Your last slide was very, very nice, and it sums up that research is not to be done alone. But maybe for the potential participants who are attending here, maybe you could tell us something about how you experienced that, the collaboration, and what's next, actually.
Yeah, I think the next part will be to trying to do this research real. And I'm still in contact with all of them, especially for the colleague from my small group. We are in contact almost every day. So it's I made 2 friends now. And this I would like to give this message to the other future participants. I think that it's very, very important to enjoy this research course as an opportunity to, as Carmen said, to be inspired from faculty and to have idea, basically have idea, because if brainstorming is very important, I think, to make the difference.
But I have another follow-up question. I guess when you started there, you would see that there are different levels of skills in research. Did you at any point, was this okay to be at a different level? How did you experience that? I mean, you had other colleagues who had different level of experience, and probably you have more. So how did you live that?
Yeah, there were also medical students, and also I remember, I think 2 guys that they weren't orthosurgeons, so they were clinical attending. But there was no issues for us to interact And all, I think that this was another point because the diversity was very important for us because I could learn from them and they learned from me, so it was very interactive for all of us.
Very good. So I think we also have other I have another question as well, Carmen, if you allow me. What about the pitfalls? You know, how did you take that? You got that from the faculty, you've learned that also maybe from your colleagues, and how did you experience that during the course itself? If you have pitfalls and things like that.
So I took one peek from Eurospine website, I think, or from the Instagram page, and the other a pic that I made, and because I really like to take picture and to save that moment, and it was very important for me also to share with other of my colleagues the experience because they would like to enjoy the research course probably this year or next year. So it was also a moment to talk with my colleague in Roms about the research course.
And do you have any colleagues from from your surroundings in Rome or somewhere else in Italy who you think that are now enthusiastic to take the course?
Yeah, of course. One of them will do, I think, 2 or 3 modules of the EduWeek, and another one probably will enjoy the research course this year or last year or next year. So this was thanks to me because I bring them my experience and they really enjoy it.
Yeah, well,
That's
really
great.
nice. Yeah.
Okay, but I think our audience oh, what are the details of the research course? One of our audience is asking, what is the details of the research course? So if you look in the chat, I have put there a link that goes directly about the research course, and maybe I could share as well the fees. If I may, I'll just share my screen so you could see the fees that are currently the costs. So here you can see that residents and students, they email us and show that they are residents or students, and they can have a 400 euro cost to the course. If you are a Eurospine member, you pay 600 euros, and if you're a non-member, you pay 800 euros. Okay. Maybe Carmen, if you have other final words to share, and then I'll just look at the question and answer.
Yes, well, I really hope that we made it clear to you what the research course is all about, that we made you enthusiastic. I think Calogero did a really good job. And well, we hope to welcome you in Strasbourg in June this year. If you want some additional information, feel free to email me or Julie, and we can answer your questions. And if you think that it would be interesting also for one of your colleagues to join us, well, spread the word, and we're more than happy to answer your questions, and even more happy to welcome you in Strasbourg in June.
Yeah, if you would like to share also my email address, if you want, you feel free to do it because maybe some colleagues feel more free to email me, so they can email me without any problems.
So I think, Calogero, maybe you could write directly. I
Yeah.
have put my email address there for everybody. They can please email education@eurospine.org. And then there is calogeroveluto@gmail.com so that you could also ask further questions. I think it's, oh, there's Carmen's as well.
Yeah.
And please feel free to get some more information. And I think we would be really looking forward to welcome you in Strasbourg. It's a beautiful place. And more importantly, there will be this big spine care community who will be there, spine surgeons and some of the researchers. And I think it would be a great opportunity to see each other and network together.
And maybe, Julie, maybe for practical reasons, we should say that the course is at the 25th and 26th of June. But before that, in half June, we already have our first online meeting. But before that, they already have to watch the videos. So you should start with the course, well, let's say somewhere end of April and May. I think, when did you start the last year, Calogero?
I think it's
Yeah,
in
I think it was at the half of April, I remember.
Half of April, yes. So if you're enthusiastic, don't wait too long, because then you should start. And it's not that from half of April you need every day. I think it's 8 videos of 20 minutes, half an hour that you have to watch before that.
I think it's beautiful because you can do this asynchronously, meaning at your own time when you want to do it. And Calogero said that before he sleeps, he does it. And after you have an online meetup of a live session, so you meet your group. And after that, you have a live session, which is in beautiful Strasbourg, and you finish with presenting your protocols 2 weeks later. So it's a really good opportunity for learning, and we hope to see you there, really.
Yeah, and then maybe to finalize, since I see a question about that in the chat, it's a hybrid course. So a part is online, 1.5 days is together on site, so personal in Strasbourg, and thereafter another session online.
I think we can answer live. So clinical fellows would fall under what category of payment? Are they considered, they should be considered as residents, isn't it? So they would
Yes.
be students. So that
Yes.
would be, the category of payment would be 400 euros.
Yeah.
And then do you also explain how to use SpineTango for data in this course? In fact, we have a video about SpineTango in the video, and yes, this is also explained how to use the data. I'm 9 years neurosurgeon and my most experience on spine, so I can directly take advanced course. Okay, I think for the Edu Week, yes, you can directly take the advanced course, and this is from Monday to Wednesday. So I think this is also a good message for us in Neurospine, that we might open also live sessions for the basic and the advanced course. Thank you so much for the research group to give this wonderful idea, and I think I would say this is a successful one. Okay. Any
Okay.
other questions? I think there is no other question, and please look at the link that I've posted in the chat box. And thank you so much for everyone who has attended.
Okay. Hope to see you
Thank
soon.
you.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
See you in
Bye-bye.
Strasbourg.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.